Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Rainmaking Time. This is Kim Greenhouse, and I've been very interested in the subject of hypnosis. I've heard people go to lose weight, to stop smoking, to get rid of phobias. But the truth is, I've never met any hypnotists. I've heard about it when I was a young child, and I've always thought to myself, hypnosis is going on all the time. Hypnosis is going on with television, with radio, with the print media. We're being hypnotized all the time. Or are we? So I thought I'd turn to a world-renowned expert, and I'm lucky enough to have invited Dr. Roberta Temes, who is a psychotherapist with a degree in counseling psychology, who's had more than 35 years in the psychotherapy practice in New York City. Dr. Temes is a member at the Downstate Medical School in Brooklyn, and she is the author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to Hypnosis, The Tapping Cure, a Revolutionary System for Rapid Relief from Phobias, Anxiety, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, and more. She's also the author of The Empty Place, A Child's Guide Through Grief, Living with an Empty Chair, A Guide Through Grief, Medical Hypnosis, An Introduction and Clinical Guide, and more books. Most importantly, we appreciate her time today. Welcome to It's Rainmaking Time. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. Oh, yeah, it sounds like I'm a library. All those books.
It sounds librarian-like, doesn't it?
Right, but really, it's the hypnosis books we want to talk about today, because that's the important thing for your audience, because so many people have misconceptions about hypnosis.
I certainly do. Tell us what it is. What is it?
Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It is not meditation. It is not sleep. It is not psychotherapy. It is not relaxation. How about that?
Wow.
Left. Here's what it is. It's focus and concentration. I'll give you an example.
Did you say focused concentration or focused unconcentration?
Focus and concentration.
Okay.
Or focused concentration. Either one works. Now, let us say that you are watching a screen. It could be TV, movies, computer screen. And you're focusing and concentrating and very, very absorbed in what you're doing. And you're sitting there for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes. And now someone calls your name. And first, you don't hear them. Then, a bit later, you hear them, but you're kind of perplexed, like, hey, I'm disoriented. Where am I? Who's calling me? Because you're absorbed in that world. Well, what you did was you put yourself in a hypnotic trance by concentrating so fully. Your brain was totally absorbed and engaged in your task at hand that you were unaware of your surroundings. That is hypnosis.
So we're in a hypnotic trance a lot.
Yeah, for example, did you ever drive somewhere, and when you got there, you said, how did I get here?
God help us all, but I have had that happen.
Yeah, it happens because you were in a trance. You just got there. You put yourself on automatic, and you got there. And that's what hypnosis is. It's very deep concentration. And the second part to it is that when you're in that state, which is really an altered state of consciousness that we call trance, when you're in that state, whatever is said to you becomes absorbed by your mind and becomes very important to you. So that if you're like that and you're learning something on the screen or from a book, you're really going to know it and you'll ace that test. And if you're in my office and you're in that situation and I tell you, and from now on you hate cigarettes, you'll never want to smoke, when you come out of that trance, you'll probably automatically throw away your pack of cigarettes and not even think about it.
What is the distinction in terms of what you're accessing in your practice as someone who is able to put someone in trance than us walking around every day and somebody coming up to me and saying, you're not going to like this anymore, or you're going to like this? What's the distinction?
Oh, the distinction is that when you're hypnotized, you are in that suggestible state. You don't usually walk around in that suggestible state. that comes from deep concentration. It comes from staring at the screen and being absorbed in something for 15 minutes, or from me talking to you on the phone, if you're having hypnosis by phone with me, and saying certain words that it took me many years to get down right, so that you will go into that absorbing state. You have to be in the absorption mode, which is called a trance, in order to absorb the suggestions and do them.
Are you, in fact, dealing with the subconscious of the person with permission when they come to you?
Well, sure, because nobody is forced to come to me. People come to my office. They wait a long time for an appointment. They pay a lot of money to come in, and then finally they're here. It's because they want to be here. It's not because someone is forcing them. Although I occasionally get a guy who says, "My wife said I have to stop smoking." But usually I don't do them. I say, "Never mind. Come back when you want to stop smoking."
Because there has to be a request from the person of something that they want different.
You cannot hypnotize someone to do something that their wife wants them to do. It has to be something they're interested in accomplishing.
And do you find that it makes any difference whether you're on the phone or in person? I know you do a lot of this work by phone, but...
Yeah, phone works very well. I'm very pleased with the results we get on the phone. They're very good.
Do you think we can program ourselves? Or do you think that this actually takes outside intervention, so to speak, by request?
I think there are some people who are really good at hypnotizing themselves. I think if you want to learn to hypnotize yourself, you should first have a professional hypnotist hypnotize you, because then you know what the experience should feel like, so you'll know if you're doing it right and how to do it. Yeah, I think it's possible to do it.
And for example, like anything in any profession, what makes one hypnotist better than the next, really?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just very lucky that it comes easily. I have a feeling that it's good, like I'm good at it because I have a very boring voice. I'm a professor in a medical school. My students invariably fall asleep. I think it's my voice that's boring that kind of gets people into this trance state.
A soothing voice can do that, too. You have a soothing voice.
Okay, so it's soothing and or boring, however you want to play it. I think that's part of it. What else could be part of it? I think you have to know how to use words precisely, and not everybody does. When I hypnotize somebody, my choice of words is very important. I have to use words that they like, that I know they're going to relate to, words that resonate with them.
Is that usually done in a pre-conversation, or does that come to you intuitively?
It's really a pre-conversation. We talk for a while, and I learn about them and what their interests are, and I listen to them speak, so I get an idea of what will work with them.
And you're assisting people in stopping smoking. Now, does that mean that they don't have the desire to smoke, or that means they have the desire but they don't act on it anymore?
Both.
Wow.
I usually give them the hypnotic suggestion that they will have no desire. But then I say, on the rare occasion when a desire slips into your mind, you'll be unable to put a cigarette in your mouth. You'll be unable to buy cigarettes or to ask someone for a cigarette. It just won't be possible. And so it works.
That's amazing. Because I would imagine the things that are stirring people to do certain behaviors, to smoke or to eat certain foods or to do certain activities that are not good for them, there's promptings, aren't there?
Well, there are all kinds of reasons, but most bad habits are simply habits. And habits are hard to get rid of, and hypnosis helps you get rid of a habit.